CB2 receptor, which is for the most part in our periphery, in our inflammatory tissue. Sure, most of you have heard that cannabis can be used for cancer, right? Again, general, not helpful. It is the CB2 receptor which is very important when dealing with cancer. In particular, just for the sake of argument, just as an example, breast cancer. Breast tissue does not normally have any CB receptors at all. Almost every single breast cancer starts expressing CB2. And not only that, but we actually are able to track the pathways of why that's important and use that knowledge to help make the effectiveness of treatment better. From the cancer perspective, we're talking about the killing of the cancer cells, nothing to do with the pain. Well, pain is, CB2 receptor is involved in pain, totally separate. It's specifically from what we call apoptosis, or the cell death, the programmed cell death that we want to kill cancer cells. It is that CB2 receptor that is very, very important. But the actual receptors, the ability for our body to take in the cannabinoids wasn't discovered until the 1990s. What do I mean by a receptor? So we have this boy who's sitting there and catching a ball. The chemical, that's the ball. You can throw a ball at someone, but unless they have something to catch it with, it's not going to be effective. And that's what the receptors are in the body. Now there's certain receptors that are specific, and there's certain receptors that are general. We have two major receptors. Doesn't mean only receptors, two major receptors. We have what's called a CB1, and we have a CB2. CB1, for the most part, is found within our neurological tissues. That includes our brain. Also includes our peripheral nerves, our spinal column, generally where the nerves are. And it's those effects, the CB1 effector, that we're looking to affect when we're dealing with neurological issues, be it a neurological pain, be it Parkinson's, be it certain types of MS, be it spasticity, be it anything that's nerve-oriented.
This lady has cancer, and she knew she had consumed cannabis, and she was getting cannabis sent to her from Amsterdam, somehow, some way. And she was consuming it for a tumor, and then she told me her PET scan result wasn't working. So, I talked to her a little bit further and tried to find out. We did her genetic test, and we found that she had AKT1. She was getting anxiety and paranoia. I asked her, and she goes, I can't consume it. I can't smoke it because I get paranoid, I get crazy anxiety. So I said, no wonder why it's not working, because you're not following the protocol from your doctor, you're not taking it. So let's modify that with your doctor. We'll give you the genetic test, we'll show you the results. Maybe you'll get a different type of formulation, which she did. She got a sublingual spray with a different formulation, one for daytime, one for nighttime. 2 months, she sent me her PET scan results. Her tumor is down by 63%.
So what the 2018 Farm Bill is, I don't know if you've heard on the news about the Senate and the House have each passed what their version is of a Farm Bill. So a Farm Bill is what's known as an omnibus bill. So it covers everything and anything, whether it's hog farming to insurance for farmers for their crops, or how states subsidize to even access to water rights for the farmers. So it creates everything with little aspects. And so what's presently before you, and why everybody has their eye on the 2018 Farm Bill, because Congress takes a look at renewing it about every 5 years, is the fact that in the Senate, what was actually cheerleaded by Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Majority Leader, was an amendment to the Farm Bill concerning hemp.
What I'm hearing is that through this genetic testing, you can determine if someone has a disposition for opioid addiction. Like many people say, an alcoholic, right?
Correct.
So similar to that.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. There's an alcohol gene. Now, whether a gene expresses itself or not doesn't mean that you're actually going to get that. Now, you have a propensity. So there's enough research out there. There's 2 specific genes that are associated with opioid dependence. There are studies in NCBI that you can look at, and this means that anybody who has this specific gene, the genetic variant that sits on one of those alleles can trigger your state of opioid dependence. So if you have this allele, doesn't mean you're going to have it and it's going to happen to you, but you are more likely than the general population, could be 60%, 70, 80% more likely to develop opioid dependence.
This is Florida. We are a subtropical climate. We have moisture in the air. It's also a climate that is prone to hurricanes. Hurricanes carry water. Water isn't great for mold issues. People that go and they are asked to be vertically integrated businesses are asked to be everything. I don't know one person that is everything. I know a couple people that are good at a few things. You factor in, nobody knows how to do everything perfectly. So people are imperfect. Nobody knows how to make sure that they can make a product without R&D that is clear of all of these contaminants. So we are there to help them and find issues and mitigate those risks ahead of time and then make products that are safe for the patient. That's DOH's responsibility to come up with those thresholds, but right now I hold all of my MMTCs in the state of Florida to the highest standards, and they're actually doing pretty good.
Here's the guide. So you get a wellness plan. The wellness plan, as I said, you'll have ratio guides, you'll have dosage guides, and we use a lot of different sources for dosage guides, like the Green Book from Israel. We have a couple other ones. We aggregate all those, and we provide you that information. We have some drug interaction based on just any studies that we can associate, because this is not for medicinal purposes. This is for research purposes only. We get the cannabinoid and terpene ratios. So we give you cannabinoids, primary and secondary terpenes, and also suggested products, which is we're building right now, that associate your cannabinoid ratio with a specific product that's available in your area. Every gene that's associated with anxiety, we list those genes. We list your polymorphism, which is your genetic variant, in that specific area. So you get the gene on anxiety, where you're susceptible to anxiety. We show you your own profile, and then the suggestion you can do to address that.